There is a tree in Nkoli village that no one touches after sunset. Not because the fruits are sour, not because the branches are too tall, but because under that tree, something once happened. Something the elders still whisper about when the moon is high and the wind refuses to blow. Something the mothers still use as an example and warning when they seat around in the evening. And if you visit Nkoli today, when the night is silent and the crickets suddenly stop singing, you may still see a lonely lantern swinging gently from the old Udara tree. That lantern does not belong to the wind. It belongs to Nkoli. And this is her story. Nkoli was not born wicked, was not born evil, but she was born with a hunger that was never satisfied. And in a village where fruits were treasured, Nkoli decided she would take them all. What started as midnight fruit picking turned into greed. What turned into greed turned into pride. And pride brought something ancient out from beneath the old Udara tree. Stay with me, because this story is not just about a greedy girl. It is about what happens when someone thinks they are smarter than the land, stronger than tradition, and braver than spirits. Once upon a time, there was a village called Nkoli. Nkoli was a peaceful village surrounded by thick forest and rich soil. The land was generous. Mango trees bent low in their season. Orange trees glittered in the morning sun. Coconut pods cracked open proudly. And when it was Udara season, Udara season was sacred. The air smelled sweet. The ground beneath the trees sparkled with fallen golden fruits. Children would wake up at dawn laughing, racing barefoot to gather the freshest ones before ants claimed them. But there was one person who never waited for dawn. Nkoli. Nkoli and her mother arrived in Nkoli village when she lost her father. Nkoli was sharp, clever, quick on her feet. But she had one problem. She wanted everything. If she saw 3 mangoes, she would take 4. If she disliked some fruit, she would still pick it, just so nobody else could have it. The villagers called her Nkoli the greedy girl. At first, it was a joke. Later, it was a warning. She would wake when others were snoring. She moved like a shadow. By the time the first rooster crowed, Nkoli had already cleared entire trees. Children began to cry in the mornings. Nkoli have picked everything again. Nothing left. She would laugh at them openly. Latecomers, do you think you can beat me? As long as I, Nkoli, live in this village, no fruit is left for anyone. And she meant it. She was very strategic. She monitors and becomes so used to each tree that she knows which one she will visit first and which to visit last. And by dawn she has visited each Udara tree twice each. Nkoli didn't just pick for eating. She sold them. Her mat in the local market became the only place to find fresh Udara. Villagers bought from her, not because they liked her, but because they had no choice and they could not resist having a taste of the deliciously delightful Udara that was in season. To make it wise, in Nkoli village, it is very forbidden to pluck Udara or any seasonal fruits from their trees. It is believed that each fruit will drop to the ground when it was ready and ripe. Nkoli knew this and ensured that she loaded her sacks before the first cock crows as the village is beginning to stir to life. If any villagers are fortunate and lucky to find Udara during the day, it was because Nkoli was busy selling in the market. And once she returned, she goes off again round the Udara tree as if the fruits are mainly for her bags alone. She would count her money slowly. 1, 2, 3, while smiling, then hide the money under her bed. The more she earned, the more she wanted. Nkoli was so strong that she does not get tired. She continues loading her bags every night with sweet, juicy Udara that. The elders grew tired. The mothers grew angry. The children were unhappy for missing the best fruits and always have to rely on their mothers buying for them. So, one evening, secretly, they agreed. We will wait before Nkoli to go pick Udara. But Nkoli heard the plot and she adjusted. She decided that since the villagers are going immediately after midnight, then Nkoli will be going at midnight earlier than they, almost when the moon stood at its highest point. Once again, Nkoli beat them again to gather all the succulent Udara the trees has released to the ground. And again, her pride grew like a swelling drum. The Udara in Nkoli was famous. Soft, golden, sweet like honey. When you pressed it gently, juice flowed like warm milk. Even travelers passing through stopped to taste it. And Nkoli saw opportunity. If I control Udara, she whispered, I control the village. She cleared the trees every night. Children wept openly. Mothers begged her to leave some for the young kids. Nkoli, they say, can you let other kids in this village experience the joy of picking fresh ripened Udara from under its trees? Let the kids taste Udara in its full morning glory. Stop selling them to make money because it is a gift of nature reserved for everyone. Once again, Nkoli would laugh and tell them, if you want Udara, bring money. Then one evening, the village gong sounded.
Tomorrow night, when the cock crows in the evening, no one must step outside. The spirits will pass beneath the Udara tree. Everybody must ensure that they remain inside their huts till tomorrow morning. I repeat again, everyone should hear the message. The chief priest has announced that some good and bad spirits and ghosts will be passing through the village path into the Udara tree bush, and everybody should not be seen outside after the cock crows in the evening. Anyone who disobey this message shall see what they bargain for.
Silence fell. Everyone nodded, but Nkoli hissed, spirits and ghosts. Are people still afraid of ghost and spirit stories? She rolled her eyes. Good. That means more Udara for me. But what she did not know was this. The Udara trees in the village was not ordinary. It was older than the village itself. It was planted when the first settlers made a covenant with the land. And some nights, the land came to collect. That night, the village was unnaturally quiet. No late laughter, no cooking sounds. Even the dogs did not bark. Nkoli as usual waited for midnight. She carried 2 sacks. If no one is going out, she grinned, I will fill 2 bags instead and charge them more tomorrow morning. She tied her wrapper tightly, carried her lantern, and walked into the darkness. The Udara tree stood tall, its branches stretching like arms across the sky. Nkoli gasped. So many fruits had fallen. Golden. Ripe. Untouched. She laughed softly. Look at you all, afraid of stories. She bent down and began picking furiously. Her fingers moved like claws. She filled one bag, tied it, dragged it aside. Her mind was calculating how much she will make. Tomorrow I will double the price. She spun in excitement. A full 360 turn with a small dance to her waist, laughing. The first sound sounded. She paused. Wind. She shrugged it off and continued. Another strange sound sounded, this time closer now. Her heartbeat quickened slightly. It just the tree branches, she muttered. Then a loud strange wind blew towards her direction with a loud whisper. But this time, it sounded like footsteps without feet, as if someone is coming towards her. The air turned cold, her lantern flickered. The insects stopped whistling and everywhere was dead silence. Then she heard a long, thin scream like something dragged from a nightmare. Nkoli froze. Slowly, she turned. What she saw left her frozen and speechless. Ghosts, floating like shadows, coming toward her. They had no legs, yet they moved. They had no visible eyes, yet she felt watched. Each one carried a sack full of Udara, their mouths stretched into hollow smiles. Smoke swirled where their faces should be, and together they whispered, Take, sweet Udara.
Take, sweet
Her body
Udara.
refused to obey her. Fear paralyzed her. She tried to scream, nothing came out, and when she tried to run, her legs felt buried. The first ghost reached her, and it touched her shoulder. Ice. Pure ice. Her mind went blank. Her eyes lost focus. Her body straightened. And then, she followed them. Slowly, quietly, she followed them like a sleepwalker into the darkness. At dawn, brave villagers gathered. They saw 2 full bags of Udara and Nkoli's lantern hanging from the tree, still burning faintly. No footprints were seen leaving the tree. Only hairs going in. Nkoli was never seen again. Her mother wept until her voice broke. The villagers searched for 3 days. They searched the forest. They searched the stream. They searched the neighboring villages. Nothing. Nobody. Nobody that resembled Nkoli was seen. No footprints leaving the Udara tree. Only 2 full bags of Udara, and her lantern was the only memory Nkoli left. It seems like she was completely wiped out from Nkoli village. But something changed after that night. The Udara season that year did not last long. The fruits began to fall rotten. Sweetness turned sour. Children who tried to eat from the tree complained of a bitter taste, and soon the villagers abandoned the Udara tree and all the fruits was left unpicked on the ground. The elders said the land was angry. Strange things began to happen. On certain nights, when the moon was thin like a blade, a figure could be seen beneath the Udara tree, bending, picking, dragging a sack. Slowly, if anyone dared to look closely, they would see something that made their blood freeze. The figure looked like Nkoli. Her feet did not touch the ground. Her eyes were hollow darkness. Her fingers were long and crooked like dried branches. And she would whisper into the night, "Take sweet Udara." Some villagers claimed that if you answer the whisper, if you should respond by mistake, or if you even say "I want," you will begin to dream of Udara every night. You will wake up with the smell of Udara in your room. And then, one night without knowing how, you will find yourself walking toward the village square to the bush path, just like Nkoli did. There was a story of how a young boy was found sleepwalking near the tree. He said a girl with a lantern told him, "Help me carry my second bag." The elders believe Nkoli was not simply taken. She was turned into one of them, a collector for the spirits. Because greed never dies, it only changes hands. And if you ever pass through Nkoli village and you pass through the Udara tree and you see a lantern swinging when there is no wind, do not look up, do not stop, and whatever you do, do not answer if something whispers, "Take sweet Udara," because the spirits are no longer just passing through. They are waiting. Till today in Nkoli village, Nkoli lantern is still hanging on the Udara tree, and many stories have been told about her to different generations about how greed can destroy and take you away like Nkoli.